let's go to the Dairy Max Built by Nature hotline and bring in the head coach of the surging 7-2 winners of 7 straight Garrison Bulldogs. We are joined by Coach Larry Prince. Coach, how are you?
Man, I'm doing good, Greg. How are you doing?
Excellent. How are things in beautiful Garrison, Texas?
It's a bright, sunshiny day. That's a change.
Yeah, I imagine it sure is. You guys have got to be feeling good after your big win over Tenaha. You guys really take command of your district. I want to ask you, now that it's kind of you've had a little bit of time to let it simmer. Looking back, what impressed you most about your Bulldogs win on Friday night?
Well, I thought that we really came out in the second half early and took control. But you got to give Coach Jenkins and those guys over there. They really don't know how to lose. Mm-hmm. And man, they fought back and made it. It went down to the wire.
Yeah, it really did. And one thing that impressed me really about you guys is you guys came out and you got punched in the mouth. Tenaha came out and they jumped out to a 14-0 lead, and you start wondering, okay, is Tenaha, once they get rolling, they tend to keep on rolling. But you guys came back in the second half and ended up taking a lead into halftime. Were there any adjustments or anything you told your guys after the first quarter, or was it just a matter of settling them down?
Really just a matter of settling them down. Once we get the kids off the field and we're able to visit with them there on the sideline, especially up front with our offensive line, and are they lining up like we thought they would? Are they doing anything different than we looked at in practice? And if they're not, then hey, let's just settle down and do what we do. And that was the case. They kind of lined up like we thought they were going to, and our big guys up front were able to take control. And I'm gonna tell you that they've got some defensive linemen that are men. They are full grown.
Yeah, they are, and they're. I know they're very tough. So, how important was it for you guys to match them physically, knowing that this is the kind of MO of these Tenaha teams tends to be that they want to kind of mash you, and how important was it for you guys to match their intensity physically?
Oh, it was absolutely important. We've got to, and that's our deal too. Is we want to establish a run game. And then we're going to take, once we feel like we've got it established, we're going to see how the defense adjusts and then take what they give us. And but it was very important for us to be able to be physical right there with them.
We're talking with Larry Prince, the head coach of the Garrison Bulldogs here on Texas Football Today. Get involved with the conversation, #TF Today. Coach, the guy that I think everybody talks about with your squad is Sebastian Porter. Your kind of do-it-all athlete. Your star running back and the leader on your defense. How important is he to just overall what he brings to the team, not just what he does on the stat sheet and when he gets the ball in his hand, but from a leadership perspective?
Well, you can't talk about Sebastian without talking about his character first. He is a great kid. He's a leader not only in the field house and on the field, but down the hallway. He's well liked and respected by his classmates, his schoolmates, his teachers. He's just a great kid.
And on the another side of the ball here, you guys are scoring a lot. 49 points in your big win over Tenaha, but your defense seems to have a knack for the moment. It seems to have a way of coming up with that big stop whenever you guys need it. Is that something you can coach, or is it just kind of the overall character of this defense?
I think that's the character of the kids that we have out there. We talk to them about bend but don't break, and I think that they kind of feed off our offense. If we go and get a lead, they're gonna step up their game and try and protect that lead.
We're talking with Larry Prince, the head coach of Garrison here on Texas Football Today. Coach, I'm real interested in kind of a bigger picture question for you. You're a guy who's got state championship pedigree. You were the defensive coordinator for Garrison when they won the title in 2003, a state finalist in 2001. You were the defensive coordinator at Tatum when they went back-to-back in 2005 and 2006. So you've seen state championship caliber teams. Is there one or two things that you think set apart a team that can win a state championship? And if so, Do you see that in your current squad?
I think one of the things you have to do to win a state championship at this level is you have to be able to run the football when everybody in the stadium knows you're going to run the football, and you have to be successful at it. And I think we've got a group of guys up front, a group of running backs that allows us to do that. We talk to the kids and the coaches about what, at the beginning of the year that, there may be 10 or 12 programs in the state that have a legitimate chance of winning a state championship. And I told them then, I said, I think we're one of those teams, but we've got to start at a high level and progress from there. And I think we've done that.
You're in your third year there with the Bulldogs, and last year, the very odd 7-6 season, kind of surging late in the playoffs. It's been a build there at Garrison. How have you seen this program change in the 3 years that you've been there?
I think that number one, this group of seniors, we got a fairly large senior class for Garrison. We've got 15 seniors. And I think that's a big part of the success. I think the biggest part of the success is we're actually playing schools that are pretty close to our own size.
Mm-hmm.
We're not the small fish in the big pond anymore. We're more like everybody else. We're not playing a numbers game. But these kids, they've really bought into what we're doing. They love the weight room, and they love playing football.
You mentioned, Coach, the drop. You guys make the drop down to 2A Division I from 3A Division II. When realignment came out, I'm sure you guys had a feeling that you guys were going to be dropping. Would you characterize that as a pretty significant moment for you guys? Obviously this year and next year.
Well, just as numbers wise, absolutely. But when you look at the district we got put in, we're sitting there going, well, man, they really didn't do us any favors. We went from the frying pan into the fire, so to speak.
Yeah, it was, in that district in 11 2A Division 1 with Tenaha, Joaquin, Linden, Kildare, some really good squads there, Now, I do want to ask you, looking forward now, you guys draw Harleton this week. This is a Harleton team that's struggling a bit, but you can't overlook anybody in your district. But furthermore, you guys have the quite odd Week 11 bye. How do you guys plan on approaching? Obviously, you need to take care of business this week against Harleton, but how do you guys plan on approaching the bye week right before you hit the playoffs?
Every week we talk to our kids. Our goal is to be 1-0 every week, mm-hmm. and Harleton's definitely not one that you can overlook. Coach Ward does a good job there. They play hard, they get after it, and their quarterback number 11, he's a good athlete. And he's a great leader for them on the field. But moving into a bye week, I've kind of looked at it, trying to look at it from different points of view. I'm not sold that it's going to be a great thing for us, but I think it could be a good thing for us. Kind of get our feet back under us a little bit, get our legs fresh. We will do, kind of go back to fundamentals, and we will compete. I would see us doing a real control scrimmage on Friday just to keep that competitive mode continuous, without having an interruption in that. But hopefully we will, come out refreshed and our legs back under us a little bit.
He is Larry Prince. He's the head coach of the 7-2 Garrison Bulldogs. Coach, really appreciate your time. Again, congratulations on the fantastic win on Friday night. Best of luck this week against Harleton and down the road.
All right, thanks, Greg.
There he goes, Larry Prince, the head coach of the Garrison Bulldogs. Huge win, and again, you don't want to overlook any team in district. Harleton's 1-7. They're struggling a little bit. Garrison's going to be the favorite in this one. I just think, I appreciate his candor there to say, I don't know if it's going to be a good thing to have this bye week. Because sometimes,
your teams are rolling. They're coming off a huge win against Tenaha.
Exactly.
So it's like, keep
playing. Just keep playing.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when you look at the way that they did last year, right, where they enter the playoffs at 5-5, mm-hmm. right? at 5-5, but then suddenly they get on a roll. And they start moving, and they kind of surge late in district play, and they just keep going. So that's very interesting that he's not particularly sold that having a week off to not play will be a positive thing.
Who knows? Maybe they can send some coaches out to scout for the playoffs.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Maybe, but
and right now, looking at the way things are breaking out, they'll play District 12.
Mm-hmm.
We don't really know who that's going to end up being right now.
So it might be a thing where it's like, hey, 2 coaches go to this team, 2 coaches go to that team.
Right. It's San Augustine. San Augustine and Shelbyville play in Week 11. That'll end up being the winner. They're going to play either. We'll know a lot after this week when West Sabine plays Hull-de-Seta, because that may eliminate one of those teams from contention. But look, when you start looking at Region 3, Price Carlisle's looked great, and they deserve to be in that conversation. But I think Garrison's going to be in that hunt, and when they've got a playmaker like Sebastian Porter, who's their leading rusher, and he's their leading tackler. He is just a superstar, just a junior as well. So exciting times in Garrison, Texas. We appreciate Coach Larry Prince hopping on with us.